All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful Montessori idea that might honestly change the way you interact with your kids. It's all about something called grace and courtesy. So, does this sound familiar? You're trying to have a serious conversation and you just hear this little voice going, Mom, Mom, Dad, Dad. Or maybe you ask for something simple and somehow it turns into this huge 20-minute negotiation. It is so exhausting, right? And it can make you feel like you're just not getting it right. Well, what if there was a tried and true method that's designed specifically for this? And no, it's not about sticker charts or threats or timeouts. It's actually a philosophy, a core part of the Montessori world that you can bring right into your own home. So, what is this stuff anyway? We're not just talking about remembering to say please and thank you, although that's part of it. No, this goes so much deeper. It's really about building an entire culture of respect in your family. And here's the definition right here. It's all about teaching respect through, and this is the key part, action. You see those words, intentionally modeled? That just means that we, the adults, have to be the living, breathing example of the very behavior we want to see in our kids. Now, what's so cool about this, and maybe a little counterintuitive, is how it's taught. It basically flips our usual parenting script of explaining and nagging and reminding. Believe it or not, the secret is actually in being quiet. This right here, this is the absolute foundation. When you want to teach a new skill, you just do it yourself first, without saying a word. You move slowly, with purpose. And this lets the child's brain laser focus on your physical actions without trying to process your words at the same time. They're just absorbing the how through pure observation. It's amazing. So the whole process is this really gentle, simple loop. You invite them to watch, you show them silently, maybe you do it a second time and narrate just a couple of key parts. Then, and this is so important, you invite them to try. You never force it. And you welcome whatever they do, even if it's clumsy, because the goal isn't perfection. It's just about them trying it out. Okay, so let's get practical. How does this silent method actually work in real life? Well, the very first place to start is with the body. Before a kid can show grace to other people, they kind of need to learn how to control their own movements. And look, these examples are perfect. They're tiny, everyday things, like how to walk around a rug instead of over someone's work, or how to carry a chair. You can model this so easily. First, you drag a chair to make that awful, loud scraping sound. Then you show them how to lift it quietly. You don't need a lecture. The contrast between the two sounds does all the teaching for you. So once a child has that basic physical awareness, we can start to build on it with social interactions. This is all about teaching them that every single person in the room deserves to be seen and heard. And in this category, oh man, is what so many parents and teachers would call the single most important grace lesson you can ever teach. This is the one that solves that interruption problem we talked about at the beginning. This is a total game changer. The lesson on how to interrupt. Just look at these steps. There's no yelling, no, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. It's this silent, respectful physical agreement. The child puts their hand on your wrist. You then place your hand over theirs. It's a quiet signal that says, I see you. I know you need me, and I will be with you in just a moment. It tells them they're important without derailing your entire conversation. Now listen, this part is absolutely crucial. You don't teach this when you're already being interrupted. It's way too late then. You have to practice this when everyone is calm and happy. Turn it into a silly game. Role play it back and forth over and over so that when the real moment happens, that new habit is already built in. And you can see how that same principle of respect just branches out into all these other social moments. Notice how many of these are really about asking for consent and respecting boundaries, like asking, may I give you a hug, instead of just grabbing. It teaches both kids that their bodies are their own and that their no will be honored. All right, the last big piece of this puzzle is conflict. The Montessori idea isn't to try and stop all conflict from ever happening. That's impossible. Instead, it's about giving kids the tools they need before the storm hits so they aren't just defaulting to screaming or grabbing things. And this slide shows one of the most powerful language shifts you can teach. I mean, look at the difference. Tattling is all about blame. He took my toy. What we want to do is move them toward mediation, which is all about solutions. That simple phrase, I need help solving a problem, changes everything. It reframes the kid as a capable problem solver, not a helpless victim.
We actually give them the words to use. We give them a script for peace. Phrases like, "When you're done, may I have a turn?" show so much trust and patience. And just like with the interrupting lesson, we practice these when everything is calm and fun.
And really, all of these lessons, from how we move our bodies to how we handle arguments, they're all tied together by this really beautiful idea that caring for our shared space, our things, and our community, well, that's the ultimate expression of respect. So it's so important to remember this. Teaching a child how to push in their chair or wait for a turn isn't just about getting a quiet, tidy house. That's a nice side effect, but it's not the point. It's about something so much bigger. Every single one of these tiny, modeled actions is like a brick. And with all of them, brick by brick, you are literally building the foundation for a person who is aware of others, who can control their impulses, who can communicate their needs with respect, and who feels truly capable in the world. So I'll leave you with this final thought. We spend so much of our time telling our kids to be respectful, but this whole approach asks a completely different question. It asks, what if the most powerful way to teach respect is to stop talking about it so much and instead just start living it, quietly and gracefully, right in front of them?